JSD Cool here, and welcome to another episode of Coolcraft Season 6. Now, in the last episode, I built up this giant box around the stone factory in the first part of the episode, and I also built a raid farm, pretty simple design by Rayworks, which I realized I didn't mention in the last episode. Which I have since AFK'd out a bunch to get a fair amount of emeralds. Heck, the amount here is just the amount that I have here is just what I had at the end of the last episode. I have gotten a lot more because I've done a fair amount of AFKing at that farm. In between episodes, I did a live stream here. First one I've done in basically 2 years, actually, like almost exactly, actually. Where I took almost 2 hours, where I built up some of the roads that are around downtown here, and I finished this road over here off camera because my end time came up for that stream. But if you missed it, do not fret, as there are probably going to be more. I got more roads in downtown to build. Heck, on the day that I'm recording this, which is the day the previous episode actually came out, I am going to do a live stream in Stormworks, get subscribed, ring the bell, all that stuff if you want to catch the streams when they happen. But also, in between episodes, I'm not in the right location, that's where I'm going. I did some work on kind of the infrastructure that surrounds the use and function of the raid farm. Starting here with this pillager outpost, which I have modified a bit heavily. And we can first go inside. Server backup's going. First of all, I've changed the inside here. This is a slabbed floor. I've removed all the floors and removed spawning spaces from inside, so preventing the pillagers from getting in there. I've also slabbed the roof, preventing anyone from spawning on top. And I built this monstrosity here, which is a bubble column and then drop chute, which I can go up and then down to refresh the spawns of all the pillagers quite easily around here, which makes getting Bad Omen 5 much easier. Still a little bit of a pain, as I do have to, shoot stuff, and I kind of need a new bow in a moment here. But yeah, once I then have Bad Omen 5, I can drop down this hole I made in the center of the outpost there, and... Oh, I didn't bring a bow. Please hold. As I was saying, drop down into this long tunnel that has an ice floor here that I made, and boat all the way down to the shoreline near the raid farm, going underneath, safely might I add, far enough out of raid distance, the villager setup that I have, which we do effectively go under. It's actually a bit to the east there, but nonetheless, this is a very fast and efficient way to get from the pillager outpost to the raid farm area. It spits us out right next to this nether portal here, and as you can see, the raid farm is just within. This nether portal just has a path through the nether next to it, which goes to the portal that's about to load into my render distance. There. To make getting up here easy and safe. Now, not much has actually changed here at the actual raid farm since the last episode, apart from me doing, of course, a bunch of AFKing. As you could tell, we are basically full on emerald blocks. We will never need any more emerald blocks. Today, in this episode, I am going to be, maybe along with JD Cool, starting to prepare to build a witch farm perimeter. Because we need a bunch of glowstone for those roads that I was showing at the beginning of the episode. And the best way to do that is probably currently a witch farm until someone comes out with an insane raid farm, which produces insane amounts of resources without lagging out the server. But that's later. This is a cooler project anyway. Now, JD Cool has actually already been over here a little bit, starting to prepare some of the side trenches. As you can see, he's started blowing this one out, and I didn't bring any extra blocks with me to fill stuff in, or really do anything for that matter, so I don't know what I was expecting. But he's also started on this trench. He's actually dug some of the dirt layer on top away by hand, so he could actually build this trench here, which is cool. But yeah, I'm going to start by riding the current flying machine that exists over this way to help with the first trench. The first trench has had a fair amount of progress made on it. Here's, as you can see, we are basically down to the limits of the TNT dupers as they currently stand, so we're going to have to dig down a little bit, and then, or actually, we're going to have to move the TNT dupers down to, I don't remember how many blocks we really need to be above this, but we'll need to move them down to a few blocks above this, and then run them again. I think we might need to run this thing a couple more times, as JD Cole built this a little too far west. So we had to build a second one a couple blocks to the east, run that a few times just to make sure that the World Eater won't actually get stuck on anything. I have discovered something quite intriguing in this corner of the future perimeter here. So to start with, there's two Amethyst Geodes like right inside each other. In fact, this one actually kind of partially replaced this one, which is quite interesting. But also, there's a double dungeon right next door to that with a zombie and a skeleton spire. Now, obviously, I haven't broken into here yet to survey the loot, and some of this, yeah, unfortunately, the spawners are right in the corner of the perimeter here, so these are going to get destroyed, but the Amethyst Geodes might survive. Yeah, let's go check out their loot. It's probably going to be nothing good, but golden apple, okay, that's okay. And nothing useful there, and also nothing useful there. Alright. I have started on the second trench on the other side of the perimeter. Haven't finished the first one yet, but I thought I'd get a start on this one, because why not? Oh, apparently the TNT duper got unloaded up there. Whoops. Well, that's not my concern right now. Because right now, I'm primarily concerned with this cave here, which is absolutely gigantic. Now, theoretically, we don't have to worry about most of this cave, as unless water comes in from the sides like this, makes obsidian, the World Eater should just be able to make short work of all this lava. However, there happen to be a few bits of lava underneath the trenches here that we will need to clear so that, well, the trenches can go all the way down to bedrock. But that especially applies to this bit of lava right here. It's not just like a simple little splash of lava on top. Oh no! It is insanely deep! Right where we need to dig this trench. It is insanely deep. Add to that there's also a ton of water. Like, I mean, this area in the water back here isn't that bad. It's more of this area of water here that's kind of bad. So yeah, I've gathered a bunch of sand, and I'm now gonna go start filling in some of this lava. Lava removal has happened, and as you can see, I've actually done a lot of work. So first of all, I filled in a bunch of the lava here. Obvious stuff here, because this here is outside the perimeter. We shouldn't have to worry about any of that. Going on further down here, I filled in a bunch of the lava where the actual trench is going to go at the bottom here. Obviously, there was some obsidian there I had to remove. But more importantly, as for what can be seen here, yeah, there is a bunch of the deep slate and such out front here that was removed because there was bits of lava that were just like in the front of this area, just like under some of the stuff, so I had to dig this out to get it, because this is definitely in the path of where the flying machines are going to go. And speaking of which, I think I've now best prepared this strip for what I can. So yeah, it's time to rebuild this flying machine, only lower. The side trenches have been dug all the way down to bedrock on both sides. This one just happened to stop right at the top layer of bedrock, which was very convenient. That was not entirely intentional. The first of the wider trenches has started to be dug. In fact, I actually put a lot of effort into this because there was a really big waterlogged cave right here that I took a while and like over like 8 shulker boxes worth of blocks just to fill it in properly. But yes, that has been done, and yeah. Okay, haven't been over here in a while. Water's still draining, yeah. The northern trench has finished being dug. Well, actually, I think for the most part, I think there is still some stuff here in this corner that may or may not be directly underneath the corner block here, which is... Yeah, there is a little stuff, which is a little unfortunate. But yeah, this northern trench here is done. Now all that's left is the southern trench. We are now in the process of digging the southern trench, and I think we just came across the largest waterlogged cave that I have ever seen. Like, this is absurdly large. Yeah. This is gonna take a while to deal with. And the southern trench is now finished. This, honestly, doing the trenches took a bit longer than I expected, partially because of, not actually actioning, but also partially because of situations like this. This is where that giant, waterlogged cave was. As you can see, you know, got the walls inside too. We actually used, like, flying machines to remove the water down to this point here, and then we just filled it in because there wasn't too much left. But yeah, the trenches should not be. Oh, we got random. Okay, random blocks like this. Probably need to go through, find, and remove these. Okay, well. Okay, you get the idea. But anyhow, now while digging out these trenches, I did happen to acquire a fair amount of diamonds. Now I don't know the distribution for these 6 diamonds, but this 1 stack and 18 here, that was from the side trenches. This was from the this set here is from the northern trench, and this set here is from the southern trench. Let's see, that totals that many diamonds. Yeah, that's a lot of diamond ores just from this system of trenches. Anyhow, the next thing to do is build the actual World Eater itself. Now that the hole has, now that the trenches have finished their depth, I don't know how to finish that sentence. Anyhow, it's time to actually get acquiring the resources for the World Eater. So this is like kind of the leftovers of the materials from the trench diggers, but the World Eater itself, which is this one, has a fair amount of different resource that it needs. First of all, it needs like 4,000 slime blocks, which isn't really a problem. The slime farm is basically right next to where we're going to be anyway. I'm fairly certain that we got that. Other than that, it needs basically 16 stacks of observers and a lot of pistons. So yeah, I gotta get actually acquiring these resources. I have collected all of the redstone components necessary for the World Eater here. So that's the observers, the pistons, and you know, I guess technically also redstone blocks. I'm working on right now getting a bunch of the terracotta and stuff. Yeah, there's a, and then I'll get on to the other stuff. I have finished gathering all the resources necessary to build the World Eater, apart from one. So if you don't know, in Minecraft you can only obtain one dragon egg legitly, despite the fact that they are a stackable object. Now, we do have a data pack on the server that would theoretically allow me to kill the dragon 44 times and get 44 elytras, but that would take an incredibly long amount of time. And also, like, a ton of... I would just use a ton of resources. So, it is not worth it for me to do that. Instead, we are going to head over to the end portal to do something a little bit different. Material collection has entirely finished, and I have built the first little platform here to be working on the actual World Eater here. I've also placed in the blocks for the pistons on the water sweepers here. So yeah, now it's time to actually get building this thing. And I might actually get the video out this week. The first segment of the World Eater has been completed. It is the section that contains the fluid sweepers and push down mechanism on this side for them. This is, I think, one of the easier sections to build, as it's quite ground up and all the stuff is quite close together. Now we go on to like literally the hardest section, which is the actual parts that make the TNT and also what pushes them down on this side, which is some quite complex stuff. And also apparently extreme lag spikes. This side of the World Eater has been completed. Both the top and bottom was completed by me here. So we got the sweepers and their push down stations, as well as the actual TNT parts. and their pushdown station here. Now, there also has been some progress on the opposite side here. Yes, Jaredy Cool has actually popped on to helping. There he is right now, doing stuff. But yeah, there's the pushdown stations at the bottom, and also work on the ones at the top. So yeah, that's where things stand here currently. And the World Eater has been finished in its construction, which is actually quite interesting. Is this was, well, not quite one day. It was actually 2 days, but most of it was built today, which is really cool, and it means I'm going to be able to get this episode out completely on time. We can just do a quick little flyby here, make sure there's nothing amiss. Everything looks to be correct here. So, with that being said, this episode has taken long enough to complete, and it will take a fair amount of time to actually run this thing down to bedrock, while work has been going on over by what will in the next episode be the perimeter. Work has also been happening occasionally in live streams here at the downtown area. As you can see, roads have been built around the stone factory, the Jaredy Cool's wood shop here, and also a little bit out in front of my house this way. And again, this has all been on live streams, and I'm currently doing this on Fridays at around 7 p.m. Eastern, but you know, the time is kind of subject to change. But yeah, if you want to catch that live, you know, subscribe and turn on notifications so you can actually be notified when I go live, instead of just, you know, happen to be browsing YouTube and the live stream comes across the recommended section. But other than that, I'll have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. As I mentioned, please make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my game, which is linked in the description, and I will see you all in the next episode of Coolcraft Season 6.